Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is June 3rd, 2019. And now the news at noon.
According to the Cortez Journal, prosecutors said they are confident Robert Rose killed Mark Wayman almost 2 weeks ago in Ignacio, but they are unsure if he planned it. The La Plata County Sheriff's Office arrested Rose, age 50, also known as Dean Seavey, in connection with the shooting death outside Wayman's home in the 400 block of County Road 509, about 3.5 miles north of downtown Ignacio. Wayman was shot 3 times in the neck and the back of his head. Deputy District Attorney Reed Stewart said Friday at a filing of charges hearing that his office needs more information from law enforcement before it decides whether to charge Rose with first or second degree murder. The difference between the two in this case is a question of the defendant's mental state and intent, said District Attorney Christian Champagne. Convicting someone of first-degree murder requires proving beyond a reasonable doubt that someone caused the death of another person after deliberation and with the intent to cause the death of that person, Champagne said. Second-degree murder alleges someone knowingly caused the death of another person and was certain or practically certain that their actions will cause a result of death, Champagne said.
The Borough Fire update, as reported in the Journal with a file photo. The 2018 Borough Fire that torched 4,600 acres of the San Juan National Forest northeast of Dolores and cost more than $3 million to fight was likely human-caused. That according to a completed investigation. A 50-page report of the investigation by the National Forest and the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office was released to the Journal this last week by Sheriff Steve Nowlin. The Journal also made repeated requests for the report to the Dolores Ranger District Office of the National Forest. The Borough Fire was first reported June 8th in Bear Creek Canyon, and its origin was placed on the Gold Rim Trail, which enters the canyon from the southwest. It's the Gold Run Trail, excuse me. The cause of the Borough Fire is likely associated with human activity along the Gold Run Trail, said National Forest investigator Lethan Sidebottom. Investigators have not identified a suspect or ignition source, and they reported no evidence of a lightning strike in the preceding 7 days. According to investigators, possible causes of the fire include motorized equipment, smoking, and the reckless or intentional use of an incendiary device. The fire's origin was placed about halfway down the 2.2-mile Gold Run Trail on a 75-square-foot bench that trail users might use for a shaded break. Multiple interviews with people in the area June 8th, quote, failed to establish the known presence of any particular person in the origin area that day, Sidebottom stated in the report, quote, due to the lack of discovery of a specific point of origin, ignition source, or first-hand witness statements as to the definitive events, the precise cause is undetermined, he stated. The investigation will continue if new leads are developed. The investigation contained interviews from people including 12 witnesses and 2 other parties that reported the fire in its early stage. It pieced together a timeline of who was where, when the fire started. Potential ignition causes were either ruled out or deemed a possible cause. Because of the intensity of the fire and fallen trees, the area of the initial fire at Gold Run was not examined until June 20th. The Borough Fire started June 8th and burned 4,593 acres in rugged Bear Creek Canyon area before it was contained August 1st. The firefight cost $3.3 million. There were no structures lost and no serious injuries. It burned at the same time as the 416 fire in the Animas Valley to the east. At one point, both fires nearly merged, coming within a few miles of each other around Indian Trail Ridge. The extreme fire danger triggered a closure of the San Juan National Forest from June 12th to June 20th.
From the Cortez Journal, a Durango man suspected of downloading thousands of images of child pornography was formally charged Thursday with 6 felonies. Lucas Shopke, age 36, faces 3 counts of possessing a video of child pornography and 3 counts of possessing more than 20 items that qualify as sexually expletive, according to charging documents. The Class 4 felonies are punishable by 2 to 6 years in prison and or a fine of $2,000 to $500,000. Assistant District Attorney David Ottman said the penalties for each charge, if Shopke pleads guilty or is convicted, could run concurrently or consecutively. It depends on the outcome. Law enforcement accused Shopke of downloading 1,825 images and 176 videos of suspected child pornography onto an HP laptop and ZTE cell phone. An investigator with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force identified potential child pornography being downloaded through an Internet Protocol address associated with a home in the 2200 block of Woodcrest Drive and notified La Plata County Sheriff's investigators, according to an arrest affidavit.
From the Journal, Jerry McBride photo. All indications point to a strong tourism season in southwest Colorado, and the headwinds hurting the region last year, drought and those fires, look to be but a memory. In fact, last year's summer of troubles may actually help this season by generating pent-up demand. Lodgers' tax collections through April are up only 3.5% compared with 2018. However, the biggest months for Lodgers' tax collections are June through October, which were weak in 2018 because of wildfires and drought. Quote, "To be up in the first quarter is a good sign, and from what I've heard, I do think there is some pent-up demand. People who canceled plans last year or who didn't consider Durango because of the fire," said Barbara Bauman, interim executive director of the Durango Area Tourism Office. As of mid-May, Mile to Wild rafting and jeep tours was up 30% in booked rafting tours out of Durango, said Mile to Wild manager Colvin Preble. The snowpack has really created a buzz in the rafting community, Preble said. He added that enough snowpack existed to allow for a boating season on the Dolores River, which began last week and ran through Thursday, which has stoked further interest in southwest Colorado among rafters. Another release from McPhee Reservoir to allow additional rafting of the Dolores is also anticipated in mid-June. Whenever there's a rafting season on the Dolores, it brings people in. You don't get to run the Dolores every year, and when you can, people come from all over, from New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas, and that really helps everyone, Preble said.
According to the Cortez Journal, it's going to take about $7 million to protect about 120 homes north of Durango from the potential of flooding and mudslides coming off the 416 fire burn scar, according to a county official. In June 2018, the 416 fire broke out, which went on to burn an estimated 54,000 acres of mostly San Juan National Forest lands in the Hermosa Creek watershed. Because soils burned in a fire no longer have the ability to absorb moisture, there's an increased risk of debris flows and flooding for homes and property below the burn area. These fears were realized in July and September of last year when devastating floods hit homes around Hermosa. After the fire, the National Resources Conservation Service, an agency of the U.S. Department of Agriculture that provides technical assistance to farmers and other private landowners, conducted a damage survey report estimating it would take about $7 million to perform a range of safety measures on about 120 homes in the path of potential flooding. Megan Graham, La Plata County spokeswoman, said the NRCS is able to cover 75% of the cost, about $5.3 million. The remaining $1.7 million or so, however, will have to be picked up by property owners, though Graham said the state of Colorado may be able to help cover some of the funding. The NRCS, as well as a company contracted by the county, are in the design and engineering phase of the project, Graham said, which will include work such as building water barriers and redirecting water channels. The NRCS is also awarding the county about $400,000 to pay for these efforts. And now let's take a look at the weather.
So now we can say it's lovely warm spring days right before we swing into hotter days of summer coming up on the 21st of June. But today, mostly sunny with a high near 74, light south winds. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 49 degrees. And then Tuesday, we have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms rolling in for the afternoon. Mostly sunny with a high near 75, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. They shift west in the afternoon. Then Tuesday night, partly cloudy sky with a low around 48, northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wednesday, again, the pattern of a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms starts in the late morning. However, mostly sunny for the rest of the day with a high near 74, shifting light winds. Wednesday night, they still post a 10% chance for showers and thunderstorms before sunset, partly cloudy with a low around 48 degrees on the overnight. And then Thursday warming up a bit with full sunshine and a high near 81 degrees or more. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 51. Friday, sunny again with a high near 79. Friday night, mostly clear and a low to 49. And so far, looking to next weekend, it should be another fantastic pair of days weather-wise, with Saturday sunny with a high near 76 degrees. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 44. And Sunday, again sunny, but a bit cooler with a high projected around 73. And now, back to the news.
From the Cortez Journal, residents were filled with fear, horror, and shock when the 416 fire grew from a wisp of smoke to an 11,000-acre fire in June 1st, 2018, the first day of the 416 fire. Since then, residents have assessed the damage, processed the information, and formed opinions about what it means for them and the community. Feelings of fear and shock have been replaced by anger, grief, and new resolve. One resident, Steve Baser, shared this week how he made the decision to stay at his house during evacuations to prepare for the fire's arrival on County Road 201 in the Hermosa area. He worked to mitigate fire danger by clearing trees and mowing brush to stunt the fire's advance toward his house. He finally decided to leave when firefighters set fire to a hillside near his house called a backburn, which is designed to starve the advancing wildfire of fuels, which I'm sure you all know. He and his wife went to Bayfield to escape the smoke. The night he returned, he witnessed a big black plume of smoke and ash that he assumed was his house burning. He was surprised to see his house still standing, calling it the third happiest day of his life. He learned later the plume was the result of two fires merging. With the anniversary of the start of the 416 fire, residents have had time to contemplate and reflect on the fire.
Reported in the Journal, file photo. A recreation area northeast of Boggy Draw Trailhead on the Dolores Ranger District in San Juan National Forest is expected to close temporarily to allow forest fire officials to conduct prescribed fire operations. The first area targeted for burning will include about 1,500 acres in units 1 through 13 in the southern portion east of Boggy Draw Trailhead. Prescribed fire operations for this section were expected to begin on Wednesday and take 4 to 6 days to accomplish. Additional sections will be targeted when conditions allow. Call the Dolores Ranger District office at 882-7296 before visiting the Boggy Draw area for current status. During prescribed fire operations, smoke will likely be visible from areas around Bancas, Dolores, Dove Creek, Cortez, and U.S. Highway 491 between Dove Creek and Pleasant View.
According to the Cortez Journal, Colorado's governor has signed a law reducing penalties for single-use possession of many drugs. KMGH-TV reported Tuesday that Democratic Governor Jared Polis signed legislation Tuesday that defelonizes drug possession for Schedule I and II substances such as heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and most other illicit drugs. The new law says anyone found with a small amount of a drug will face a misdemeanor instead of a felony charge, while those suspected of dealing drugs will still face felony charges. Supporters say the law is an effective way to stop arresting away community drug problems and will save taxpayer money. Opponents say state savings will come at the expense of county taxpayers and jails, where those sentenced for the lesser crimes will be held.
From the Durango Herald, Creativa Images graphic. When Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed the Equal Pay for Equal Work Act last month, he helped make history for Coloradans after 39 years of lawmakers trying and failing to pass a bill that accounted for pay discrepancies that are considered unintentional. Members of the legislative session who started the work decades ago were present at the bill signing to see history being made by Polis's pen stroked across the page. While there are different statutes already on the books in Colorado prohibiting intentional wage discrimination based on sex, this new piece of legislation focuses on unintentional discrimination, said State Representative Janet Buckner, a sponsor of the bill. Buckner said the bill is about creating fairness in regard to wages being paid to employees who hold the same qualifications. By passing the bill, some legislators are saying current practices are not fair and that men and women should be paid equally for equal work, she said. If the wage gap were eliminated in Colorado, a working woman in the state would earn on average $7,000 more per year, which is enough enough to cover 1.9 years of tuition at a community college, or about 6 months of childcare.
From the Cortez Journal, call it a nice send-off to the end of the school year. Escalante Middle School 8th graders this week cuddled young lambs swaddled in towels as part of a veterinary science class. The 7 orphaned lambs were born at J. Paul Brown's sheep ranch near Ignacio and were brought this month to live mostly at the school, said Lou Boren, veterinary science teacher. Students visited the ranch to observe pregnancy testing, sheep shearing, and the lambs being born, she said. Raising the lambs captures the heart of the whole community, Boren said. Students selected individual lambs to care for. They were charged with every aspect of the lamb's care, including feeding and diapering the lambs, a necessary precaution while the creatures are indoors. The lambs help Boren teach important lessons about agriculture and veterinary care. Many of the students who take the elective class are interested in pursuing veterinary science. The class helps students decide if the career is right for them.
And now today's High Canyon Country happenings. June 5th is the Ute Mountain Rodeo Roundup and Fair at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds. It runs actually from June 5th through the 9th. We'll be jamming at Bomb Diggity's first anniversary party, Saturday, June 8th, from noon to 8 p.m. Belly dancers, live music and drumming, native food, and it'll be an event not to miss, they say. Chef Jake Thompson will be providing some great food to try out on gluten-free fry bread. They're calling it Bomb Diggity Tacos, and get your meat or vegetarian version on June 8th. It's a free event where everyone is welcome, and this is held at the Mancus Mystical Market. And Denkai Doggy Dash is held June 8th. It's a color run for the Denkai Animal Sanctuary. It runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Join them for a 1-mile fun run with your family and pets. It's fun for all, and proceeds benefit rescue animals in crisis. It features area rescue pets available for adoption, booths from local businesses, food, games, and so much more. The color run starts at Parque de Vida in Cortez. If you want to sponsor it, they can send you a packet. Their contact information is info@denkaisanctuary.org. Registration is $20 per adult and $15 for children 15 and under. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, you can contact by email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in the news of our area, and of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.